All right, welcome back to the KC Sports Report. As always, I'm your host, Michael Darcy, and today I have the pleasure of being joined by returning guest Michael Hebner, and we're going to give you our 2021 NFL playoff predictions. So the time is finally here. The NFL playoffs are upon us, and it's time to get into the predictions. You know, last year it was a very good year for Chiefs fans. We obviously won Super Bowl 54, but actually, Michael Hebner predicted the entire AFC correct, which at the time was not a good take, but he ended up being right about all of it. So, with this year being a COVID year and a lot of different obstacles, they did add a team in the mix. So there used to be 6 teams in the playoffs on each conference. Now there's 7. And I think that since there's only one bye this year, that we're going to get to see a lot more playoff chaos than we have in years prior. So, let's get into it on the AFC side of things. The 7th seed is the Indianapolis Colts. They played the Buffalo Bills, which did get the 2 seed. The Browns, who are the 6th seed, play the Steelers, who are the 3 seed. And the Baltimore Ravens, the 5th seed, play the 4th seeded Tennessee Titans. So there's a lot of good matchups in the AFC. Let me give you my takes. I think that the Ravens are just not good enough. I think the Titans are going to expose that team. We saw what happened last year. Michael, I know that you got that game right last year, and I'm going to learn from your correct predictions. I'm going with the Titans to win this game. They're playing at home. Derrick Henry rushed for 2,000 yards this year. The dude's unstoppable, and I really think that it is his time to shine. Michael, what do you think in that matchup?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't really like Lamar Jackson. Nothing against him. I think he's very talented and he's a good running back. But when you're in the playoffs, you need a quarterback, and that's just not what he is. He can throw the ball, but so can Travis Kelce. It's just the Baltimore Ravens have not met the expectations that everybody thought they would have. I mean, last year they went from being the number 2 seed
They were the
or
one.
number 1 seed, and now they're number 5. So obviously something's not happening there, and I think the big part is Lamar Jackson. They're acting like he's uh, a Patrick Mahomes level player. And again, I'm not saying he's a terrible quarterback. He's very talented, but at the same time, you need a quarterback if you're going to win a championship, if you're going to get to the Super Bowl. It's the Tennessee Titans. I mean, Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry. That's how you win the games if you're the Titans. That dude can run over pretty much anybody in the league, and I will take him as my running back over just about anybody. Even Ryan Tannehill can win a game, which is something that Lamar Jackson cannot do, right?
Especially a playoff game. I mean,
Yeah, and he's
Lamar,
done it before.
we've seen Lamar in the past 2 playoffs. He can't get it done. And I think that it's because when this Ravens team gets behind, they will not come back. And I think that the Titans are going to take what they learned last year, get up to a lead, use Derrick Henry, and at that point, it's basically over. So we both have the Titans winning this game
Mm-hmm.
at home.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next matchup is the Cleveland Browns. They made the playoffs for the first time since 2002.
Woo woo.
Go to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers, who are the 3 seed. You know, this is a good game because the Browns, they're a good team this year. They really are. They got a good rushing attack in Kareem Hunt, a former Chief, and Nick Chubb. Baker Mayfield's playing very good football. Kevin Stefanski, the Browns head coach, in my opinion, is the coach of the year. And the Steelers have not looked great recently, but the reason I'm going to pick the Steelers in this game is because the Steelers almost beat the Browns in week 17 playing their backups. And that's really concerning to me. I mean, Big Ben Roethlisberger was not playing. James Conner was not playing. I mean, there were guys that are so instrumental to that offense and to that team that just didn't play. And they only lost by 2 points on the road. This game for the Steelers is at home. It's going to be a cold game. And I think that there's a reason why the Steelers own the Browns, and we're going to see that in this game. Michael, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean that's all fair and fun and dandy, but we're talking about the Cleveland Browns here, right? Like they haven't been to the playoffs in you know decades. I mean, probably they probably
18
been more
years.
recent than that, but still, it's like this is a huge deal for them. So I think that Baker Mayfield obviously has been playing well, like you said. He's got Jarvis Landry. Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb. They've got the running game. They've got a solid receiver who can get them through, and they've got a pretty good quarterback. I'd say he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league.
He's playing good football right now too.
Yeah,
Very
and
good
he's
football.
been doing well, and I think that this is a huge chance for him to show the kind of quarterback that he is, and the rest of the team to, kind of get their fans that playoff win. So I think it's going to be a difficult game for them. I'm not. If they win, it's going to be close. It's going to come down to the wire. It's going to be a field goal or maybe just a last minute touchdown. But I think the Browns will pull it off. Steelers have kind of been slacking lately. I don't know what the deal is.
That's true.
Um,
That's
it,
very
it's
true.
it's going to be difficult since they're in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is just a very difficult place to play, but there's not going to be fans, so they're not going to have, there's not going to be a normal fan presence as during like a regular season game pre-COVID and all that. But I think the Browns will squeak by with a victory there.
That's not a bad take. I would pick the Browns, but based off of what I saw on Sunday, I can't pick the Browns. So you picked the Cleveland Browns to beat the Steelers. I picked the Steelers. The next matchup is very intriguing. You got the 7 seed Indianapolis Colts going to Buffalo to play the Buffalo Bills. This is going to be a game that could show why experience is very important. The Bills are high flying. They've looked very good recently. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs look like a top 5 quarterback to wide receiver duo in the league. They got a good running game in Devin Singletary and Zach Moss, but I'm not sure if it's good enough to beat an Indianapolis team with Phillip Rivers, who, to his credit's playing pretty good football this year, a running game with Naheem Hines and Jonathan Taylor, and they just have one of the best defenses in the NFL. I think it was ranked the best or the second best in the league, and it's going to be tough. The Bills last year couldn't get it done. That was kind of a lack of playoff experience, although I am going to pick the Bills. And the reason I'm going to pick the Bills is because something tells me that Phillip Rivers is going to revert to his old self. As a Chiefs fan, we've seen Phillip Rivers play absolute terrible football, and especially when it matters. He's going to take some deep shots, and I don't think that he's going to connect. And the Bills' defense is good enough to play complementary football with that offense, and the Bills are going to get a win. I think it will be a good game and an entertaining game to watch, but the Bills are playing such good football right now, I can't pick against them.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me because there's a part of me that's like, this is Phillip Rivers, coming with the Indianapolis Colts. It's his first year with the new team. He wants a he wants a Super Bowl, but he struggled in the playoffs over the last couple of years, and I mean he's easily a Hall of Fame quarterback. It's just he needs that Super Bowl to solidify his ranking there, and I think that the Colts are going to squeak by. Again, it's not going to be by much. I'm going with the upset on this one again. I'm just picking them because I think their defense is good enough to stop Buffalo. I think Buffalo is just young. And to be fair to Phillip Rivers, I feel like a part of his lack of success over the last couple of years was the Chargers. I think it was specifically that organization. I think he has the talent and the ability to go forward. It's just he needed the right coaches and the right players around him. I just think that the Chargers, for whatever reason, as a team, choked. It wasn't necessarily all on Phillip Rivers. Obviously, there were definitely questionable plays and things that he would have made, but you should have a team that can pick you up and help you when you make mistakes.
And that's for sure. I mean, the Colts, they're going to pick up Phillip Rivers. Like I said, they got that defense. The weapons are around him. It's just, can Phillip Rivers do enough? So you picking the Colts, and I got the Bills. So that's going to leave a different AFC playoff picture. So that would mean that in your scenario, well, in my scenario first, I have the Titans going to Kansas City to play the Chiefs, and the Steelers going to Buffalo to play the Bills. So for the Chiefs game, we got a 4 seed going up against a 1 seed, and the Steelers are the 3 seed going up against the 2 seed. With you also have the Titans playing. No, you wouldn't. You would have the Colts coming to Kansas City to play the Chiefs, and you would have the Browns playing the Colts at home. So a very different situation. But before we get into that, no, why don't we do this on the AFC side first, and then we'll get over to the AFC or NFC. So for me, you got the 4 seed Titans going up against the 1 seed Chiefs. I just think the Chiefs are a better team. The Titans are a good team. Derrick Henry, like I said, he's a monster. But when it all comes down to it, good luck stopping Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is going to get in his playoff mode, and we saw it happen last year. He's going to find a way to make plays and hit his receivers. Kelsey, the best tight end in the league. Tyreek Hill, he's going to be healthy. Sammy Watkins, Mecole Hardman. I mean, the Chiefs have so many weapons at their disposal that it's going to be hard for them to not win it. And I think that the defense is going to step up. They're going to make plays. So give me the Chiefs to win this game at home to advance to the AFC Championship game. Now, Michael, on your end, you have the Colts coming to Kansas City. The Colts are obviously the 7 seed and the Chiefs are the 1 seed. What do you think is going to play out?
I think the Chiefs will get that pretty easy. It'll be obviously a place that Philip Rivers has played before. Justin Houston's coming home. It'll be a good game, but at the end of the day, you're talking Pat Mahomes here. I mean, he came back from a 24-0 lead in a single quarter. Like, not many quarterbacks can do that. And I'd argue that the team is much better than they were last year. I still think we're lacking on certain positions like linebacker and maybe some parts of the secondary on defense. But other than that, I mean, this team is solid. Offensively, there's just so much depth at wide receiver, and especially with the last game, we now realize the amount of depth we have at running back. I mean, having Darwin Thompson show what he can still do. I mean, he showed, a special ability during his rookie year, but this specific game, he really shined, I think, and showed that he can still play at a high level. I just don't see the Colts topping them off. And especially having the bye week, I think the Chiefs really needed it to gather and regroup and kind of get a break, because Mahomes has been getting hit hard. Like, it's not good, the amount of times he's been getting hit. And like I've said countless times, this offensive line is crap and needs to get fixed, because if it doesn't, you're not going to protect your $500 million quarterback.
And also, I mean, we know Andy Reid's record coming off of bye weeks. It's very good. I mean, it's very good. So I just think, I mean, in your matchup, I can't see anybody beating the Chiefs in the first round.
Yeah.
They're going to be motivated and they're going to come out strong and propel this team into the AFC Championship game. So both of us have the Chiefs making the AFC Championship game. For my divisional round, the second game, we got the 3-seeded Steelers going up against the 2-seeded Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. I think that we're going to get to see this rematch, and I have the Bills winning. I think that the Steelers aren't quite there yet. Their defense is good, but I just can't see that offense putting up enough points to stay in the game with Josh Allen. I think that Josh Allen is on a mission. I don't know if he'll complete the mission, but he's a good quarterback. And I think that the Stephon Diggs connection and that defense is starting to get better, making plays. Give me the Bills to win this game. So for my side of the bracket, that's having the Chiefs and the Bills play in the AFC Championship game at Arrowhead Stadium. Michael, you have what would you have? The
Browns and Titans
and the Browns.
Yep.
It would be the Titans and the Browns at Tennessee. What do you think is going to happen?
That's tough. There's a part of me that wants to say the Browns just because they're going to have the momentum after knocking off the Steelers. But it is Derrick Henry and it is the Tennessee Titans, and I think they're just going to run it down their throats. But I think I'm going to have to go with the Browns.
Really?
And the only reason I'm going to say that is because of Baker Mayfield. I think it's going to come down to the quarterback, because when you got Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb in the backfield, you can just have a game going back and forth running the football. It's just a matter of who controls the clock and who can get up and down the field quickly, because we know what Tennessee's going to do. Tennessee's going to run the football. They're going to control the clock, and they're going to try and take time away from the Browns. But when you have a quarterback like Baker Mayfield or a receiver like Jarvis Landry, and you have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, you have two running backs that can switch out between each other, who can get the ball down the field and get it down quickly. I think that the Browns are going to sneak by with a win. Again, I don't think it's going to be by much, but they're coming off the momentum from the Steelers game. They're already going to be hype. Baker Mayfield's going to get his team going. It's going to come down to which quarterback can make that final play, in the last 2 minutes of the game.
That's not a bad take. I mean, the Browns killed the Titans earlier this year, and maybe we'll see it in the playoffs. So you have a Browns Chiefs AFC Championship game, and I have a Bills Chiefs AFC Championship game. Both of those games would be at Arrowhead Stadium because that's the road to the Super Bowl. It goes through Arrowhead. Before we get it over to the NFC side of things, let's predict the AFC. So in my bracket, we got the Buffalo Bills, the 2-seeded Bills, going to Kansas City to play the number 1 seed in the AFC. In my opinion, the Kansas City Chiefs are on a mission. I've never seen a team so talented in my life. I think that this team is much better than they were last year. Patrick Mahomes is going to keep playing at a high level. And I think that, like I said, this team is on a mission. The goal is to run it back. And in my opinion, Josh Allen coming to Arrowhead in the elements, I mean, it's not going to be as cold as it would be in Buffalo, but Arrowhead, regardless of if there's 77,000 fans in the stadium, it's a tough place to play. The 5,000, I guess it'd be 15, 20,000 that are in the stadium, they're going to raise hell. They're going to make noise. And I fully expect this Chiefs team to get back to the Super Bowl and get past the Buffalo Bills to go to Super Bowl 55 in Tampa Bay. Michael, what do you think? You got this. You got the 6-seeded Cleveland Browns going to Arrowhead to play the Chiefs. What's going to happen?
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty evident that the Chiefs are going to wall up the Browns, but more detailed, I think that the Chiefs, like you said, they're way too talented. I mean, none of these teams, I guess, compare to the level that the Chiefs are at right now. I mean, I'd argue that they're more talented and overall a better team than the Patriots ever were right now. I mean, obviously, you could argue that the Patriots offense at one point was better than ours, or that their defense was better than ours. But as an overall, like the way it works and how the defense balances with the offense, I don't think any team has been this good in years. The offense for the Chiefs is obviously the strong suit. I mean, you got Patrick Mahomes. He's the real game changer. He's the one who's controlling the game. But you have players like Tyreek Hill, who, in 5 seconds can just run down the field and score a touchdown. You got Travis Kelce, who somehow always gets open. And you have Patrick Mahomes, who's arguably the smartest quarterback in the league right now. I mean, I don't see you beating this offense. And this defense, while it's not the greatest in the league and it's not there's really no fantastic stats that they've put up. I mean, sure, they get turnovers and sacks, but it's nothing like what we used to get, say, with like the Tumba Lees and the Derek Johnsons back in the day. It's enough to help that offense out. It's enough to get wins. And obviously, over the last couple of games, we've only won games by 3-point margins or less than a touchdown, which has been concerning. But I think a lot of that is just the team needing rest, the team needing to regroup and figure out a game plan to win the next game.
Like I said, the Chiefs are on a mission. They're trying to run it back, and I think that the Buffalo Bills are the best chance, in my opinion. In your opinion, it's the Browns, but I think that the Chiefs are going to get it done, and they will be the team to represent the AFC in Super Bowl 55. Now, going over to the NFC side of things, we got a ton of good games. This week, we got the 7-seeded Bears going up against the Saints. I mean, not much to say there. In my opinion, the Saints are going to win. But hey, I mean, maybe we see an upset. I'm not too sure. I'm going to take the Saints just because I think that Drew Brees, this is his final year. He's got to get it done this year. I think he's going to retire after. And I think that their defense is good enough to make Mitchell Trubisky off balance. And Chicago just doesn't have the firepower, in my opinion, to stay up there with the Saints. Michael, in your opinion, what's going to happen?
Yeah, I think the Saints are going to win. I think Trubisky will throw up a good fight, and I think there's a slight chance that they could win. I'd say more than slight chance that they could win. I think Trubisky has been hearing all the chatter and everyone say, "Oh, what we could have gotten Patrick Mahomes, but we got you," right? And I think that gets to you, and at some point you go, "Okay, you know what? No, I'm gonna make you guys glad that you guys have me." And I mean, he's played really well, at least the last couple games, I guess, and he's really kind of shown what he used to be. Because I mean, he used to be a pretty decent quarterback, and then he kind of like fell off a little bit. Um, but yeah, I think that the Saints will more than likely get that win. I mean, it is Drew Brees. They have Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill. Their defense is pretty good. They're not. I wouldn't say they're the best, but it's a pretty good balance, I think, for the team. But yeah, I don't see Chicago right now winning. I think they can. I think they have the ability to. I just think it's more realistic that Drew Brees pulls it out.
Yeah, and honestly, it's not a bad take if you did take the Bears because, dude, the Saints choke every year. So,
That true. Yeah, that
I
is true.
mean, part of me thought, hey, maybe the Bears could do it, but I think the safe pick in this instance is the Saints. So we both have the Saints advancing to the NFC divisional round. The next game is the 6-seeded Los Angeles Rams going to Seattle to play the 3-seeded Seahawks. Jared Goff, the quarterback for the Rams, has a broken finger. The Seahawks have Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Jamal Adams on defense, Bobby Wagner. I just think that in this matchup, which is a divisional matchup, I mean, both these teams are in the same division. I think the Seahawks are going to get the best of the Rams because, I mean, like I said, the Rams have an injured quarterback and they don't have the firepower on offense, at least in my opinion, to keep up with the Seahawks. Like I said, the Seahawks are at home. Russell Wilson played very good football this year. I just think that the Seahawks are overall a better team, and they're going to show it in this game. So give me the Seahawks to win this game at home to advance to the NFC divisional round.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the Seahawks will definitely pull it out. The Rams haven't really impressed me since Mahomes' first year, which was 3 years ago. Um, they just I don't know what happened, but they lost Todd Gurley. They lost just a part of their team kind of fell apart after they lost that Super Bowl to the Patriots. I don't know. I think they've fallen off, and I mean, Russell Wilson, like you said, has had a pretty good year. DK Metcalf was on fire like the entire season. Defensively, they're pretty good. They're not, once again, they're not like a super
They're not elite.
powerful
They're getting
defense.
better. They weren't the best this year, but as of late, they are getting better. Jamal Adams is very good at sacking
Oh yeah.
the quarterback. But I think that, I mean, we both think the Seahawks are just going to overpower this Rams team.
Yeah. Again, it's Russell Wilson we're talking about. He's the most Mahomes-esque quarterback in the league right now. And, having a player with that capability is, it's pivotal. Yeah, it's pivotal in a playoff game. Like all it takes is him to scramble out for an extra first down or to get out of the pocket quickly and make one play. That's all you need. And I just don't see Jared Goff being that guy. If it came down to it between Wilson and Goff, I mean, I'd pick Wilson 9 out of 10 times.
So that means since we both picked the Seahawks and the Saints, that means that they would both play in the NFC divisional round because the Packers did get that 1 seed. Therefore, they get the worst remaining team. And you got the 5th seeded Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to Washington to play the 4th seeded Washington football team led by Alex Smith that somehow won the NFC East. This is a game that, in my opinion, is very intriguing. Washington has a very good pass rush led by rookie Chase Young. They can get to the quarterback. But the problem, in my opinion, is I don't think that they can put up enough points to go alongside with Tom Brady and that just loaded Buccaneers offense with Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, Ronald Jones Jr., Leonard Fournette. I mean, the list just keeps going on and on. The Bucs kind of underperformed this year, but I think that in this game, as tempted as I am to pick the Washington football team, I got to go with the Buccaneers. So give me the Buccaneers to advance to the divisional round. Michael, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going with the upset. I think the Washington football team is going to squeak by. Once again, I don't think it's going to be a blowout or anything. I think they may at best win by a field goal or it'll come down to some fluke play at the end, but I think they'll get it. Tom Brady, as much as I dislike the dude, I mean, I do respect him, but I think he's done. I think his time in the NFL is coming to an end, and I think the season it was a disappointment. He's just he's not an elite quarterback anymore. The league is changing. He's old. I hate to say it, but football is about young and being able to read people and read the defense and what they're trying to do. I mean, he threw so many interceptions this year. Like every time I watched, it felt like I was watching, you know, a new quarterback play. And I'm sure I usually was just watching the games that he threw like 7 interceptions in, but still, it's the fact that he did that.
Part of that could be Bruce Arians' offensive system. He likes to throw the ball deep.
Right.
But, like you said, the game has changed so much. Now it's the mobile quarterback, somebody that can get outside the pocket and make plays with his feet. And Tom Brady can't do that. And that's why I think that if you're a team with a good pass rush, you're going to have a good chance of beating them.
Yeah.
Chase Young is going to put Tom Brady on his ass. We're going to have to see how he responds to that. I'm not sure if he will, but for me, give me the Buccaneers, and you're taking the Washington football team.
I am.
Play the
I think Alex Smith's going to do it. I think he will. I think he's coming back, and it'll be the comeback story of the year, I think, if he does that, because he came back from a unbelievable leg injury, nearly almost died, and now he's coming back. He's playing in a playoff game, and he has a chance to go get a Super Bowl. I mean, he deserves it. I think he could potentially go far, but this is something that's huge for him, and I think he's just going to have that extra little edge that Tom Brady is going to be lacking.
Okay, so we both have the Seahawks and the Saints playing in the NFC divisional round. And I think that in this game, the Saints' luck has run out. They are the 2 seed, but the Seahawks, in my opinion, are just better. And I'm also taking into account the fact that the Saints are probably going to choke. After picking them to go to the Super Bowl last year for like the 7th year in a row, and they didn't do it, I'm done. I'm not picking the Saints anymore. So are they going to beat Chicago? Yeah, Chicago. So give me the Seahawks to win this game. They're going to be on the road in the Superdome, but Russell Wilson's going to outplay Drew Brees, and I think that Saints defense won't be able to keep up, and the Seahawks defense, on the other hand, will do just enough to contain Drew Brees, and the Seahawks are going to the NFC Championship game. Michael, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the Seahawks are overall just a better team. I mean, the Saints. I mean, Drew Brees. He's still, I think, a good quarterback. He's better than most. He's getting up there in years, and I think Russell Wilson has an advantage because he's a little more mobile, and I think he's just got a baseball-like ability to throw the football on the run, which is just something a lot of quarterbacks in the league don't have the ability to do well. And since Wilson can do that, I think that gives the Seahawks an edge.
Against the pass rush in the Saints with Cam Jordan and guys that can put pressure on the quarterback. If you got a guy like Russell Wilson that can get outside the pocket, good luck.
Right.
Really all I can say. But I think that we're both kind of taking into account that the Saints might choke, and we don't want to be ones to say the Saints are going to go to the Super Bowl and then they lose in the first round. So we're taking that into account. So we both have the Seahawks going to the NFC Championship game. Now, my NFC bracket has the Buccaneers going up against the Packers in Lambeau Field. Aaron Rodgers is the MVP. As much as I hate to admit it, as a Chiefs fan and as a Patrick Mahomes massive fan, Aaron Rodgers is playing unbelievable football. And I think that we're going to get to see a matchup that we saw earlier this year. The Buccaneers absolutely destroyed the Packers, but they're both different teams. I think that the Packers have developed a lot more. Their defense, they have been okay. They're not elite, but they're not bad. I think that I really do think that this is the Packers' year. I think that they are finally going to take that next step and make it to the AFC, make it to the NFC Championship game, and have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. So, Michael, what do you think?
As badly as I want the Washington football team to win, I think that the Packers will pull away and take that victory. Aaron Rodgers is the key to that entire game. If Aaron Rodgers is playing like he's playing now, there's nothing I think that the Washington football team can do that'll stop him. to outplay Mahomes, even though Mahomes is as young as he is, says a lot about a quarterback. And to get the MVP over Mahomes says a lot. Obviously, Mahomes, I think, has struggled a little bit this year. I think he could have done a lot better. But I think most of that was attributed to his offensive line sucking. So uh, I think at the end of the day, it all comes down to Aaron Rodgers. He's the big component to that team succeeding. I mean, you take Aaron Rodgers out, and I think that Washington's team rolls him.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that this Packers team will go as far as Aaron Rodgers takes them. And they have Devontae Adams. I get it. He's probably the best receiver in the league, but is it enough? I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves. The Packers are going to advance. In my opinion, the Packers will advance to the NFC Championship game. And we both have the NFC Championship game predictions correct. We have the Seahawks going up against the Packers in Lambeau Field. Russell Wilson really struggles against the Packers, and specifically in Lambeau Field. It's going to be a cold game. I think that the question is going to be the quarterback play, because both defenses are about equal. I would say that the Packers defense is better, but which quarterback plays better and which quarterback can have a better day? I think that Aaron Rodgers is the guy. I mean, I have never seen a guy besides Patrick Mahomes. Got to give my love to Patrick Mahomes, but a guy like Aaron Rodgers can literally will his team to victory. And that's something that's very rare. Like I said, there's probably only two guys in the league that can do that, and it's Mahomes and Rodgers. So give me the Packers to advance to the Super Bowl, beating the Seahawks at home. And the Packers are going to go off. I think that this is Aaron Rodgers' time to finally get it done. And if they can't get it done this year, I'm not sure if it's going to happen in the future. So give me the Packers to represent the NFC in Super Bowl 55.
Yeah, I'm gonna slightly disagree. I'm gonna take the Seahawks on this one. Sure, it's Aaron Rodgers, but defense isn't the greatest. It's not bad, but it's nothing to brag about. They've got two monsters of a wide receivers. I mean, DK Metcalf is I mean, he's the next Megatron, and you've got Patrick Mahomes essentially as your quarterback, right? Russell Wilson has the physical abilities that Patrick Mahomes has, which is what every quarterback lacks. And it's, again, that ability to run outside the pocket and throw on the run. It's that ability to throw a football, that slight edge over Green Bay. I think it's going to be close, and it's going to be a shootout, and it's going to come down to which quarterback wants it most, which I think there's a fair case that Aaron Rodgers can, like you said, will his team to victory, but I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I just think DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Russell Wilson as the quarterback, a pretty decent defense that's starting to get their thing together. I think that Seattle's going to win the NFC Championship.
Okay, so we both have the same AFC representative in the Super Bowl, and in the NFC, I got the Packers, and you got the Seahawks. So let's go over mine first. I got the Kansas City Chiefs playing the Green Bay Packers in Super Bowl 55 in Tampa Bay. In my opinion, this is going to be a Super Bowl for the ages. You got Patrick Mahomes, an MVP candidate, going up against Aaron Rodgers, the matchup that we missed last year. So this is going to be a game that is going to go down in the history books. I think we see a lot of offense, and I think the question in that game would be which team's defense steps up and make a play. We know how good our offense is and how good the Packers offense is, but which defense can step up and stop it? And in my opinion, that's the Kansas City Chiefs. Like I mean, obviously I'm a Chiefs fan, but I've never seen a team like this, dude. This is better than any team I've ever seen from the Chiefs. And last year they were obviously good enough to get it done. I don't see anything changing. I think that the Chiefs win Super Bowl 55 in Tampa Bay, successfully running it back and becoming the first team since the Patriots in the early 2000s to win back-to-back Super Bowls. Michael, you obviously got the Chiefs and Seahawks. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close game. I think it'll be similar to last year's game, just with a lot more scoring, or last year's Super Bowl, I should say. I definitely see a situation like we saw when Mahomes first played Wilson. I think it was in 2018
Yeah.
when it was just a shootout between the two. Obviously, the Seahawks won that game, but the Chiefs need to figure out what's going on defense if they're going to win, and I think they will. But they need to get a pass rush going. Chris Jones needs to step up. Frank Clark needs to step up. I feel like they've been kind of slack in the last couple of weeks. It's been getting better, but I think that they really need to start pushing that defensive line to get more sacks. The linebackers, I think, have been doing okay, but once again, I think we need to see a little more participation by them. And in the secondary, Tyrann Mathieu needs to get those guys whipped into shape. Stop the stupid penalties. Stop holding on to receivers. Stop getting pass interference in the end zone. Start playing smart football on defense, and that's how you're going to beat the Seahawks. Offensively, I think they've got everything down. They've got a solid run game. They're able to control the clock and keep the ball out of Russell Wilson's hands. You got Patrick Mahomes, so if you need to, you can get a first down on 3rd and 40. It's going to take a team effort for them to win, but I think they'll pull through.
We both have the Chiefs winning this Super Bowl, and I think that at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes is the X factor. I think that this Chiefs team is on a mission. They're trying to run it back, and I just have never seen a team like this. I know I keep saying that, but this team went 14-2, and I think that they could have played better. The playoffs, it's going to be really important to see how they play, but if they're playing their best game, nobody's going to beat them. And I'm very confident when I say that. So both Michael Hepner and I have the Kansas City Chiefs winning Super Bowl 55 down in Tampa Bay, becoming the first team since the New England Patriots to win back-to-back Super Bowls. And if the Chiefs can do that, they are going to be one of the few teams that were successfully able to run it back. Thank you for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, like and subscribe for more of the best Chiefs content on YouTube. You can also support the channel through the Patreon and follow us on Instagram. The links to those are in the description. You just listened to the KC Sports Report by Michael Darcy.